Is women have a different perspective from men. With men, being in a romantic relationship is kind of like wanting a hamburger. Just because a man wants a hamburger from Burger King doesn't necessarily mean he won't eat one from McDonald's. So if Burger King is closed, he goes, I'm going to get my hamburger because I want it now. And I want a hamburger. I don't want to wait. So I go to McDonald's and I get my hamburger and I eat. Women aren't like that. Women sit back and say, well, you know what? I want a hamburger, but I don't want a Big Mac. I want a Whopper. And women always usually go for Whoppers, if you know what I mean. They always want Whoppers, bigger, bigger, bigger. So they don't want to do a Big Mac, they do a Whopper. So they usually, what they end up saying is, I'll wait, but a man won't. He'll just go to McDonald's. And I like to make a comparison of that as far as relationships are concerned. If a man isn't getting what he wants with a woman, if a man doesn't get what he wants from a woman, he just simply goes and gets another woman. A woman will want to battle it out, have a fight, resolve the problem, and then you're back into the relationship. Oh, honey, can we talk about it? And the man goes, I don't want to talk about it. Why should I talk about it? I'll just go next door and get what I want, just like a hamburger. And that's the philosophy of a good restaurant versus a bad restaurant. I ask a lot of my female customers about restaurants. I say, okay, you go to a bad restaurant, and they don't give you what you want, you go back to the restaurant. Then the women, of course, say, no, I don't want to go back to that restaurant. And you go to a good restaurant, and that's the restaurant scenario. And then they go to a good restaurant, and of course, they want to go back to that restaurant. Men are like that regarding relationships. If they're in a good relationship, everything's going their way, they will go back to the relationship. But if they're not, they'll just find another person. It's just so much simpler that way. Exactly. The ratio, the male-female ratio nowadays is like, in certain areas, I know in my area, which is Vegas, Las Vegas, Nevada, the ratio is 7-1. 7-1, and I checked the statistic, it's unbelievable, because Las Vegas is a mecca of beautiful women, just like Hollywood, California, that are coming for jobs in the casino, and, you know, the dancers at Tropicana. There's an overabundance of women in Las Vegas. I like to call it a glut, just like it is in Hollywood. I went out to Hollywood one time, and there were women washing dishes that should not have been washing dishes. There were cashiers that should not have been cashiers. They were absolutely, positively gorgeous. And that's how it is in Vegas. I did the statistics on it, 7-1. So for every one man, there are 7 women. No, I'm not saying they're beautiful women, but there are 7 women for every one man. Well, if there's 7 women for every one man, why should the man put up with the hassle? I'll just go and say, well, you're not going to work out for me. And I happen to have a very, very close friend who just happened to go through 18 or 19 women within the last 2 years. And they do something wrong, and he just kind of says goodbye. He doesn't argue with them. He doesn't fight with them. He says, there's the door. But if it wasn't that 7-1 ratio, he wouldn't be able to have 18 to 19 women. So women are, according to a lot of men that I talk to, particularly this one guy, are disposable. Like, you know, you do something wrong, why put up with it? Just go ahead and tell him, you know, there's the door. If you don't like me the way I am, I'm not going to change for you. Goodbye. I'll talk to you later. And then he doesn't call him, and he says, that's that. So since you know that, you have to head in a different direction with me. I'm done.